as Joanna says, we open with gratitude. We learn to skillfully, little by little, feel our pain without being overwhelmed by it. And then we can see with fresh eyes the possibility before we go forth. I want to recommend to you a book that I've found really powerful and helpful, called Choosing Earth. You can put it in the box, Chen, choosingearth.org/book, and you can download this for free. It's written by a guy named Dwayne Elgin, and he's a very highly respected futurist. He wrote a book called Voluntary Simplicity about 40 years ago, and does a lot of work with Stanford and other think tanks. And what he did in this book was look at the trends, first lay out the story of where we are, the reality of where we are, and then he looks at the different trends and the different possibilities of where we are heading. And it's not an easy book. It's a very, very accessible book. It's very, very easy to read. It has both, it will unsettle you, laying it all out, but also inspire. It has inspired me because he sees that there are three main trends. He goes over the next 5 decades, the 20s, the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 70s. Yeah. What are likely scenarios? And he comes out with 3 likely scenarios, or possible scenario, not likely, possible scenarios that he sees. And Joanna recommends this book, and a whole lot of wonderful people say, read this book. Vandana Shiva and Gene Houston, and et cetera, et cetera. And he says, of these 3 possibilities, one of them is possible dystopia, with 200 million refugees that are in an uninhabitable areas in the planet, and all the tipping points going over, and it leading to war and violence and destruction. That is a possibility. He said that's one possibility. He just lays it all out. A second possibility is authoritarian control with artificial intelligence, kind of what I think of as China, having everybody tracked with eye identification, and just that's the way to keep control over everyone. And that is a possibility as we go further and further, out of control. The third possibility is the awakening of the species, where we are going through what is called, in spiritual journeys, it's called the dark night of the soul. St. John of the Cross wrote the dark night of the soul, where you go through face your biggest demons, and you come out, the hero's journey. You come out a hero after you go through the hardest places. Joseph Campbell wrote this in The Hero's Journey as well. And we are, Andrew Harvey, another brilliant mind, who wrote a book called The Hope, A Guide for Sacred Activism. He says, we are going through a dark night of the species with the possibility of a true awakening. That is very, very much a possibility. absolutely a possibility, especially as mindfulness and the Dharma more and more become something that everyone is exposed to. I mean, look what's happened in the last 20 or 30 years with the Dharma. Now, you can it's in, oh, was it Lucy? You just sent me something about the initiative in England, and my good friend Chris Cullen, who worked with Parliament, members of Parliament. He had 130 members of Parliament in his mind, teaching them mindfulness over the course of a few years. He's one of the teachers down at Gaia House. That this is starting to infiltrate everywhere, and Parliament came out with a mindfulness initiative of wanting to bring it into the schools and businesses and health and justice system. So to hold that possibility and hold that vision is going to be crucial in our work. For me, holding a vision, just like the Buddha said, you have a vision and then you can move towards it. That's what happened to him when he said, I'm giving up the palace and I want to go for enlightenment. And he says, intention is the source of all karma, but having a positive intention and a positive vision makes all the difference in the world. So I just invite you for a moment to reflect on, there are over between 1 and 2 million organizations that are working towards the betterment of the planet. That Paul Hawken, who did regeneration, researched. There's so much going on, and just see the possibilities in your mind. And know that you can do your part by deepening your practice, holding your care with wisdom, and expressing your care in action. And just first have a vision of that third awakening of the species through all the dukkha that lies ahead. And get in touch with what you have to offer this world. We can make a simple, personal eco-sattva, bodhisattva vow. How can I make a difference and put my practice into expression? Don't feel it's up to you to save the world. You just do your part from love. Because that's contagious.